We are joined today by Pastor David Steeves. He's with
Yes.
Rose Church. He is the next gen pastor. There was something absolutely amazing that took place a couple of weeks ago at Rose Church Fire Nights. Tell us a little bit about how this went down.
Oh my goodness. So it was we started on Sunday and continued through Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday night, meeting up 6 nights. And man, we expected God to move, but we did not know how he was going to show up. Night one, the president of ARC Canada, Pastor Brent Cantillon, was in the building, and he dropped a word that kind of like set the tone. And Monday and Tuesday, Pastor Russell Johnson from Seattle, Pursuit in Seattle, came in, and man, as the kids say, he left no crumbs. Now I'm gonna probably get some flack for that from my youth kids, but it is what it is because man, he like it was like a not a punch in the face word, but like a punch in the chest where it was just like, man, this is spoke with authority and just like really set the tone. And really it was like a challenging word. It was like I remember one of the things he said was that converts make heaven, but disciples make history.
Mm.
And it's like, man, what do we want to do with the time that we have here? Do we want to go all in? Again, it was like this whole time I was thinking about the early church and just like how the Spirit of God moved through those people and how, like, man, the church it made history and transformed people's lives. And so, man, that's what we were going for. And our latest night it ended at like 12:30 a.m. It was
Wow.
wild. It was old school. It was old school. We had like an hour and a bit worship session, like a 1 hour word, but honestly it didn't even feel like that. And then we had some prayer right after. And I think it was Wednesday, so our fourth night, we saw 14 people walk away healed,
Mm.
physical healing, prayed over, saw God move in their life, and were healed physically. And I think that was just like, man, goodness, you get to the middle of the week, you kind of feel tired, but it's like, man, God's still not done. And then we ended it off on Friday night with we had some reserved seating for our youth. And we actually invited another youth group from the city Center Point Youth, and they joined. We joined forces, and we kind of took over the service. And there's 40 or 50 of us praising Jesus together. And Pastor Adam Browett from Calvary Temple dropped just a very timely word, and it was just so good. And it's like of course, right? We expect God to move. Yes, we know He's all powerful and all good. But man, He blew it out the water.
What would you say was the most memorable moment throughout
Yeah.
that entire week?
I'm gonna say honestly, the three things that I mentioned were Pastor Russell coming in and giving us that just like, man, that truth bomb,
Mm.
watching 14 people walk away healed, um, and then ending it off uh, worshiping Jesus with the next generation. It was just kind of like it was like storybook the whole week. Something I will never forget, and it was a week that marked our church, our community, and honestly Winnipeg, because there
Mm.
were a lot of people uh, that were there from their own communities, and now they get to take whatever happened in their hearts to their community and watch God move and transform in people's lives around them in their communities. Yeah.
What was the turnout like? You're mentioning these other people going back and bringing it to their communities. Did you have a bunch of extra people come in from
Yeah.
like out of other spaces?
Yeah, we did. We had, so each night we had about 200 plus people show up. And yeah, we had some folks from City's Church, from Brandon. Now I'm gonna forget all of the other places that people came from, but like I said, Centerpoint Youth was out, and it was cool to see faces you haven't seen, and just be like, man, this person came from their community with a story, with belief, for revival in this city. And I think it could, like, as Christian communities, we could kind of get siloed off and like forget that there's other churches and believers in this city. But it was so beautiful to see the assembly of saints,
Mm.
and just like, as they walk away, you know what I'm saying, you could see how the Spirit impacted them. And like, man, they're like going back rejuvenated to their community, ready to just like make a heavenly deposit in the people around them there. Um, but yeah, no, the turnout was pretty awesome, seeing different people, like groups of different people, each and every night. We had Pastor Ben Neufeld from Riverwood Church came, and he brought some folks from Riverwood as well. And it's like, oh, that's so cool. It's just seeing all the churches and all the people, and that was really good. It was
And
really good.
it's beautiful too how that domino effect can happen when you reach that one person. And like you said, it spreads out to the community. You
Yeah,
mentioned it a little bit about just what it was like to be a part of all this, but you personally, what was it like to watch something
yeah,
like this and just see people experiencing this?
yeah. I think it was when it took me back to when I was a kid. I remember um, kind of watching my mom and my community just believe for something, for a move of God, and being kind of raised in that. I had kind of forgotten that you can believe God to move like that again, if that makes sense. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? And so when, I kind of forgotten about it, and in my head it kind of became like a tale. Like, I would tell people, like, man, back in the day, there was this and this and that. Man, back in the day, there was this and this and that. But it's like, to watch it, like, oh no, like, this is what happens when you believe God for something. Lives get transformed. He shows up and lives get transformed. And to watch that, um, is like, man, I would lay my life down again and again and again to watch people experience Jesus for the first time. Um, and just blow people away by his love. I think it's just the most beautiful thing. You kind of watch, and there's some people that were, attending kind of, each night, that would come up to me and be like, man, God did this. Next night,
Mm.
God did this. Next night, God did this. He's not done. And it's just like, man, and he's so faithful. And he's not just like, it wasn't like this fairy tale thing that happened in, kind of, God moving wasn't just like this fairy tale thing that happened in my past, or something that I saw from, my mother, and her faith journey. It was it's real, and it was just tangible, and like, God is moving still. And yeah, it was so good to be a part of that.
What's up next for the Rose Church? Do you have any more worship nights planned or anything big and
And
exciting coming up?
so honestly, I'm gonna throw in our youth. Rose Youth is doing a preview night next Friday, and so our youth group is, we go from grade 6 to grade 12, so it's wide range. But we're inviting fifth graders. So if
Mhm.
you're a fifth grader, or a family with a fifth grader in the Transcona area, or just looking for a church for your kids, man, come to Rose Youth, May 30th, 7 to 10 p.m. Come to Rose Church every Sunday that you can, if you're in the Transcona area, doors open right at 9:30. Service starts at 10 p.m. We got a whole bunch of stuff planned for summer. Every long weekend, we are basically having a party at Rose Church. So make sure you're there for that. It's going to be a good time. Yeah.
Everyone needs to be a part of it. If they
Oh,
do want to be a part of it, they're getting excited listening to this conversation.
yeah.
How can they learn more, find out the address, find out email, phone number? How can they go
Absolutely.
about that?
Yeah, you know what? We've got an Instagram page. So if you're on the Instagrams or on Facebook, just search us up. Rose, as in the flower, Church CA. So first two letters of Canada. And you could also find us at rosechurch.ca on your Safari browser. Or if you don't got some Safari, whatever you use, Firefox.
Thank you
Uh,
again so much for joining us. We appreciate
ab-
it.
Absolutely. Love it.
Awesome.
Thank you.